Let's start with There's No I in Threesome, this documentary that I watched. It's on HBO Max, as I mentioned. The premise of this is essentially, Jan Oliver Lux he's the director and he's also in it, okay? Ollie is the name that he goes by, all right? So it features Ollie and his girlfriend essentially exploring what life would look like if it wasn't about monogamy. And they're not boyfriend and girlfriend, they're actually fiance. So this is Ollie's fiance, okay? So they are, and Zoe is the fiance's name. So we see them, they're living in like London and Germany. He's a filmmaker, and it explores how Ollie believes he is bisexual. So he wants to explore some things. Zoe they're into like threesome. So they show like, it's pretty graphic actually, like in nature, like they're out at parties, making out with other women. Then they don't show them like fully having sex, I don't think, but lots of scenes like that. Ollie's mom even stars in it, where he explains to her that he's doing a documentary on having threesomes in an open relationship, which is so fucking awkward. We don't even really get her full response. And it follows their journey of how this could potentially or supposed to work, okay? So they within, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes, we find out Zoe is seeing this guy in London. She's an actress. And, she's kind of into him, but she wants Ollie to meet him, and Ollie is bi-curious, so Ollie is willing to hook up with the guy too. You guys, you have never seen two more narcissistic people on screen in your fucking life than this film, all right? And when I say that, it's just like, it's all about them. All they think about is essentially becoming someone else. These people are not 22. They're like 35. Who the fuck at 35 wants to be someone else? You're not comfortable in your own skin by then? I mean, Ollie might be 40. I was yelling at the screen. It was so... after watching this, I'm convinced. And I'm trying to think. I know over the years I've had people in open relationships or polyamorous on this podcast. But after watching this, I kind of think if they feel like it's working, they're lying. Because what this film does a great job of is showing that at some point, someone becomes jealous, and it's almost impossible to build a healthy relationship and go on and get married and, respect the person when they're having sex with in a relationship with someone else. And these people are not having sex with someone for like a one-night stand. They start dating them. Plus, they're dating their fiance. So Ollie and Zoe are dating each other while dating other people, and then supposed to all come together and hook up and have sex. What? Maybe I'm just jealous that Schman and I are not capable of doing this. I know for myself. I mean, I'm fucking jealous enough of like someone I don't know on Instagram, let alone someone boning my husband. I could never do it. Best part of this documentary for me is they keep like showing these scenes where they go to this public pool, or they go to like a pool, and essentially they go, and it's like a diving instructor, the Olympic diving boards, there's various heights. So Zoe and Ollie go to like the top diving board, and they are naked and they have GoPros on, and they're supposed to jump together. And every time Ollie jumps and Zoe never goes with him, which is a great foreshadowing of the film, because ultimately, spoiler alert, Zoe is not into him. Of course, because threesomes and these open relationships don't work. You guys, when I tell you this is another level, at one point, Ollie gives himself an enema with the help of Zoe, cleans out his butthole because they're going to have his girlfriend over and potential butt play. I loved it. I just love, why I love it and hate it all at the same time? Because do you watch these things and I think my sex life is so boring compared to this? Honest to God, if I do doggy style for 5 consecutive minutes, I'm like, what a world. I think for me, it brought up rage about, I could never do that. And I know so many people who have had threesomes, and the thing is I'm just too jealous to do this stuff. I really wish. And I get bored. Does anyone else get bored? It takes me a while to get comfortable with someone. sexually. And then when I do, I don't really want to share that person with anyone else, I've realized. Now, I love living vicariously through nudists and other people, but I don't want it in my own home. Absolutely not. So Zoe and Ollie, she gets a boyfriend, and it becomes pretty obvious that she's pretty much into this new boyfriend, but yet trying to keep a relationship with her fiance, Ollie. Then the new boyfriend comes, they all hang out together, they all hook up and have sex. And this whole film is shot via an iPhone, which I was really impressed with that. And Ollie talks about, all the things that they did sexually. They hooked up. And I'm always amazed too. Maybe I just date guys that are too straight. But trying to get some straight guys to suck each other off, it's really they don't want anything to do with it. They're always cool with the women hooking up. But I give Ollie credit. That's the one that Ollie was down for whatever, okay, on this film. So, but that ends up sealing the deal because Ollie wakes up in the morning after they all hook up, and then Zoe and her new man are basically having sex right next to him. What? Again, it's not going to work. Okay, so what's infuriating about this film, though, is at the start, they really make Zoe out, which they always do this shit, to basically be the woman that's breaking his heart. She calls off the engagement. And they really make Zoe out to be, I think he does, the filmmaker, Ollie, to be completely a narcissistic, self-absorbed actress who, burns through men. And it's really her fault that Ollie was sort of going along with this. Now, here's the big plot twist. So this is the huge spoiler alert at the end of the film. And Ollie annoys the fuck out of you too. I feel like I've never disliked two people more than this film ever in my life. And openly gasping, because I also watched on Netflix, there's an OnlyFans documentary, which was too boring. I couldn't even finish it. But it's basically documenting some people that are making money on OnlyFans. Far more boring than No I in Threesome. So I really hate when they make the women out to be we're the sexual prowess, we're the ones that kind of break these men's hearts. But you also dislike Ollie because Ollie is also narcissistic and annoying and wants to be somebody else and wants to explore, has all these questions about his sexuality and all, which is fine to question all that. But I'm just saying you're like, why are you doing this about threesomes when it really is more about you guys having a ton of internal conflict about who you are sexually? It really has nothing to do with threesomes. That's what is annoying. So at the end, plot twist, you find out that Zoe, this woman in the documentary, is an actress. So this really happened to Ollie, but his actual girlfriend is not his actual girlfriend. It was a cast actress, and they recreate stuff. Even more fucking annoying as far as I'm concerned. But then I will, what was interesting? I have to give it to Ollie. He does a self-confessional, basically, of what he learned. And he said, you can't really blame Zoe. That was the original girlfriend, because he truly he reveals these conversations that he had where he's like, I would put my career over anything else. I want to make this documentary. I don't care if our relationship works or doesn't. This documentary is what it's all about. So with that, you're like, all right, well, I equally hate Zoe and Ollie. I dislike it. Anyway, this is getting a ton of buzz. Go watch it. You will want to pause. You will be infuriated. Obviously, you cannot watch this with kids. It's very explicit in so many ways. You'll be throwing your remote. You'll be irritated, and then you'll also see some redemption for Zoe and Ollie at the end, which I think was brilliant. I thought that was a good twist. But I still have never disliked people more, and I think the title is totally misleading. Because they're really not about having threesomes. They're trying to find alternatives towards monogamy. So it really should be, there's no one person in monogamy or it just should be monogamish or whatever. Because they have all of 2 threesomes. And then basically she's out boning other people and so is he. I was very fired up about that.